and I'm just getting ready to go to sleep. I watched a video from Most Targeted Citizen again. He's on his walk and he's documenting his drone, and he's making reference to its locations and specific locations that it will be when he reaches certain points. And I just wanted to bring this up. I'm not denying his claims about it being a drone. I've seen all the videos. I've watched it. This is just the only thing I want to mention that I want him to take into consideration and think about.
And this is the blind leading the blind.
Okay.
Okay?
He's on two-dimensional ground.
It's a two-dimensional ground.
Yes, understand that. That's the number one primary fundamental you have to understand.
Primary fundamental.
When dealing with relativity, everything is relative to the observer.
Okay, now listen. He's using a lot of big words here, okay? It's okay because he's smart, right? Okay, pay attention.
You're observing the object in the sky from a two-dimensional perspective.
Okay.
It's in the third dimension. It's in the sky somewhere.
It's in the sky.
Anytime you go off ground, okay?
If you go off the ground,
then you reach the third dimension.
Then you reach it. Are you serious?
Then we know obviously the dimension above that would be technically what they call time.
Okay. Yeah.
That's still kind of a subjective thing, but fourth dimension, and then based on Chuck Missler's evidence, like his science, it can go all the way up to 10 in this simulated universe.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you don't even understand the first three.
We only deal with 3 dimensions.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And everything is relative.
They teach us that
to us.
They teach us that in like what the grade school, right? When you start learning the area of an object, right? Height times your height times your width times your length. You know what I mean? Like the 3 different dimensions, right? To be able to measure the volume, you know what I mean, or the area of a cube of a 3-dimensional object, right? Instead of just the area of a 2-dimensional object, which would be a square, circle, triangle, whatever. The 3-dimensional objects, they add another dimension, right? Okay? He's saying that when you go off the ground, okay, you reach the 3rd dimension. No. We view this world in a 2-dimensional viewpoint because what we see from our eyes, everything we see is just a one flat image. Okay, do you get it? Our brains do the work to tell, to help us understand what the depth is, the depth perception, right? That something's far away or it's close up. That's the 3rd dimension, not if you go up in the sky. Okay, but listen to him here.
In our observations from the 2nd dimensional perspective, because we're on flat ground. It doesn't matter if we go up on a mountaintop. We're technically in the 3rd dimension.
Oh my God.
as it pertains to relative to the ground, but we're not. We're on a surface that is connected still to the ground.
Oh, okay.
So our vantage point changes, but we're still in 2-dimensional space.
Oh.
If you go on a bridge, you're kind of in the 3rd dimension.
Kinda.
Okay? But that's the closest you're going to get. If you get into an airplane, you're in the 3rd dimension.
Oh, really?
If you're 3rd dimensional viewing something 3rd dimensional, okay, there's a number of different variables that come into play that you have to take in consideration when you're trying to view an object that is also at your same vantage point. Okay?
Wait, you're trying to view an object.
So you have to draw a diagram.
Wait.
And you have to.
If you're trying to view an object that's at your same vantage point, wouldn't that mean that it's exactly where you are? Exactly?
Draw a timeline diagram.
Timeline?
And then you have to basically draw in you have your X and Y axis, right?
Okay.
X, Y axis. Your 3rd dimension would be where those two intersect with each other, that's going to be that's your 3-dimension.
No. What was your furthest math that you took? Like in school? How far did I'm assuming you took algebra, but did you ever take geometry? I hope that you didn't actually learn trigonometry and still believe this stuff. Like, I mean, what school did you go to?
Dimensional space, you understand? And then you can have one dimension be time, one dimension be, whatever, duration or whatever.
Oh my goodness.
So when you want to track the third dimension to get kind of a grasp of where it's actually at in the sky, I hope I don't overcomplicate this.
Yeah, you are, for yourself.
You have to plot it, and then you have to understand based on where you plot it, where the observer is in relevance, like, to that. Okay? So, God damn it, this is fucking complicated.
It's because you don't understand it yourself.
And if you don't understand it, then you can make mistakes.
Yeah,
you're not following the scientific process.
Big words again.
To properly, display what you're observing.
Big words here.
So, here's what I'm gonna try to do. Let's just try to summarize it like this, right? Simplify it like this.
It's one word. It's real easy.
You have an object, potentially. We're saying worst case scenario, Mr. Pidlong. You have an object that is 250,000 miles away.
You don't know that variable.
Let's say
that's the problem.
Again, just hypothetically.
You don't know how far away.
Let's say it's Jupiter. Okay? It's 250,000 miles away. We're not talking about light years. We're just talking 250,000 miles away from your vantage point.
Jupiter's a lot further than
Earth.
Just saying.
That's where that object is in 3-dimensional space.
Yeah.
And it's moving, and you're moving, and its light is attenuating as it moves.
Attenuating?
It's light. That is the only way you can...
Wait. I got to get a dictionary or something out here. Hey Siri, what is the definition of attenuating?
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet. For more info, check the Home app.
Really? Seriously? Why are you having trouble connecting to the internet now? That's funny, because it's not supposed to. I'm the only device that's on this HomePod, and I'm only on one network. So how are you having trouble connecting to the internet? Hey Siri, what's the definition of attenuating?
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet.
All right.
For more info, check the Home app.
Whatever, this is what they do, okay? But anyway, I'll deal with that later. Let's keep listening.
Can identify it is by its light that it emits. Okay? It's attenuated, so it's moving. The light is bending as it's getting to you.
Now we're talking about
Okay,
light
you
bending.
gotta understand this, because if you don't, you can make mistakes and you can look really fucking stupid.
You can.
So if you can understand this and you can explain the science,
you can't.
You can better prove your theory and your claims.
But you
can explain the science, explain the general relativity, how it applies to the vantage point that you're at and the object in the sky in 3-dimensional space. And then you can help people understand that it's not Jupiter.
Big words.
So, but you got to be able to draw a diagram and explain it, dude. Like that's, so if Jupiter is 250,000 miles away and you're on Earth, just where Jupiter is and where you are, if you stayed in the same location, is going to change over time. Okay? Mm-hmm. Because you have different variables at play: rotation, spin, revolution around the sun, blah, 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 blah. Okay? Mm-hmm. Objects that could come in, obstruct the view of the actual object you're trying to view at any time. Okay, so you have to imagine that object in 3-dimensional space, and you have to be the object. That's the perspective you have to take on. You are the object in 3-dimensional space, and you're looking down at a globe from 250,000 miles away, and you're trying to pinpoint one specific object on the ground that is moving around in a seemingly minimal distance comparative to you. Again, relative. Relative to you, even if you move Stuart Pidlong a quarter of a mile, relative to that object, you didn't move. If it was looking at you and it was zooming in, it would be like you didn't even fucking move. Do you understand? So its vantage you barely moved based on its vantage point. Well, guess what? It didn't move, dude.
What are you trying to do?
You understand?
If it's Jupiter, it didn't move.
Your movements are dramatic compared to you and its vantage point for you.
No, what you're missing.
They can be what seems like they're dramatic. They're not.
He's missing the
It
key
didn't
element
move.
here. The key element is the
You
things-
moved in two-dimensional space.
The key thing are everything in between you and the object. Okay? That is what's moving, and that is what gives the illusion that it's moving. It's called parallax. It's real simple. One word, parallax.
And now you're
Look it up.
observing it. It's in the same location.
Look up.
You're observing it from another vantage point at a slight angle off, just one.
Hey, Abe. You did this big, long, 15-minute stream trying to explain all this, right? Here, I'll do it in like 1.5 seconds. Okay? To explain the drone thing, look up parallax. Boom, done.
One slight degree angle off. And you're looking up there and you're looking at it. And it was over this particular object, right? It was over this particular house from this vantage point you're at on this street. Then you move 1 block away. You're at a different angle. You're looking from a completely different angle. And it appears to be over a different house. But is it realistically, if you imagined yourself back at that same exact vantage point that you were previously when you observed it, would it not still be in the same location?
So you're not...
Yes, it would. It didn't change location. You did. And now you're observing it in 3-dimensional space, and it seems like it's moving with you. It's not.
It kind of is. If
based on my opinion.
It kind of is.
Based on my opinion.
See,
I could be
in
wrong.
the big scheme of things,
That's your blazing.
in the big scheme of things, we're on a big spinning ball. It's called the Earth. Okay? The light in the sky is also a big spinning ball, really far away. So if you just zoom out, and look at the big picture, okay? You really didn't move much, and the big ball didn't move much. It's two big balls pointing at each other. The only thing that is affecting, where it's at, how it looks like it's in a different place or that it moved, all the objects in between, okay? Because you have all of the objects down here on Earth, that are high. They're tall buildings, the horizon, the landscape. You have mountains. You have different things like that, trees. And that is what's giving you the illusion that the light in the sky is following you. You understand? But so is every other light in the sky. So is the moon. So, you're paying attention to that one light, but you're not even looking at all the other lights. If you use your same argument with every light in the sky, every light in the sky is a drone following you? Come on, Just look up parallax. And all you got to do to prove the drone thing, all you got to do is set up a stationary camera, okay? From one single vantage point, right? And then you'd be able to review that footage, right? As you're doing your own footage of a light in the sky that's moving, okay? And you can view both videos at the same time, And if it's a drone, you'll be able to see it on your stationary camera. And you'll be able to align it with your footage and say, see, look, I did this at this time, and this camera shows that light moving over here. But whenever you go to do this, you're going to find out that the light doesn't move. And you're going to palm your fucking face so hard, you're going to feel like an idiot. And then you're going to have to start questioning what is it that is making you, all these people think, they're convinced of these things, And it's a lot of people that are convinced of these things that they weren't before. Like, it's just common sense. Maybe they never thought about them before. Maybe that's all it is. I don't know. But, or maybe they're fucking agents, and their whole point and their whole purpose is to come on here and make targeted individuals look like retards, right? Because they're pretty effective at doing that.
Star, your Eastern Star in the sky, dude. That's not my star. That's your fucking, divine architect, your grand architect. That's not my grand architect. I don't worship that fucking thing. I don't give a fuck about that thing. I don't praise or make claim to it or acknowledge it. I don't make symbology claiming it. I don't give a fuck about no fucking Osiris, Orion fucking star. Whatever the fuck it is. I don't give a shit about it, dude. But whatever these claims you're making about this drone, you have to be able to put yourself in the perspective of the object you're trying to view, three-dimensional space.
No.
Understand the space that you're actually viewing from. Dude.
No, leave the object where it is.
Because I know you're mechanically inclined, so I know you got to be able to do it.
Yeah, I know.
You got to be able to do it. You got to give a better explanation.
You should be able to do it. I understand that too.
Incorporating the general relativity.
I know that there's drones.
That's not good enough, man.
I know there's drones.
Even when you zoom in on the object and you're seeing color changes,
that could be explained by the
I just explained to you that attenuation alone, the light traveling 250,000 miles.
That's not what does it.
When it comes,
it's not the curvature of the
in contact
light
with objects that refract it, bend it, change its direction.
Okay, yeah.
Shadow it, whatever it is.
It
changes its wavelength and color.
It's the atmosphere.
It varies.
If you notice, if you ever look at the stars, right? You look straight up on a clear night, and the stars are, they have a slight twinkle to them, right? But then you go down towards the horizon, and you look at the brightest stars near the horizon, and every one of them has a twinkle to them, right? And that's because there's more atmosphere between you and that star to get in the way, and that's distorting the colors of the light. And as it's twinkling different colors because of the different atmosphere in the way more than directly above you, because the earth is round, and down near the horizon it's it kind of, you literally have to go through a bigger section of atmosphere between you and the light. It's real simple.
It will vary. It's not common sense, because you have to understand the science, okay? But
it kind of
that's if it is Jupiter.
You can see Jupiter's
if it's a drone like you're claiming,
right now,
okay, fine.
With the naked eye.
But prove that it's not Jupiter. Showcase Jupiter, showcase Venus in the sky, show their location.
And I just want to point out, I know the drones are real, okay? And I realized what the game was, and the whole point of the drones a long time ago, because every time I would try to record the drones, right, they would stop, right? They would just stop where they're at. Or my phone wouldn't be able to focus on them at all, right? Just mysteriously couldn't focus on them. So I kind of gave up on that. And I have this really bright flashlight, and I was by myself one day, and I'm looking at this drone through binoculars, right? And I shit you not, this drone starts bouncing around in the sky, doing like a figure 8. And I literally did question, my own vision at one point. Like, did my eyes go weird and make it do that or something? I had to rub my eyes and look at it again, and it didn't do it again. But a couple weeks later, I was with a friend of mine, and we're out in the middle of nowhere. You can see all the stars really, really good. We're outside in his driveway, and I had this really bright flashlight. It's like a beam flashlight, so to speak. When you can shine it up in the air, and it actually does travel pretty far. And I'm looking at this drone, and I know I believe it's a drone, right? It's right above me, fucking following me around and shit. And I try to ignore them, but my buddy, he's, you know, he understands. He's hip to this stuff too. He believes me 100%. He understands that I'm on a higher level. That you know, that there's a lot more at play here than what they try to tell you on the media and on TV. And people that make these claims aren't crazy, right? They're actually onto something. But you got a bunch of dumb people on here trying to make us look crazy, and that's fucked up. But anyway, I took my flashlight out and I said, "Oh yeah, it's a fucking drone." And I pointed my flashlight at it, right? And as soon as I pointed my flashlight at it, the fucking thing started bouncing around in the sky. And not only did I see it, but so did my buddy saw it. He was a witness to this. This absolutely happened. But I didn't record that. If I would have pulled my camera out, the damn thing would have took off. They do. If you go to pull your camera out, they fucking take off real fast, so they're out of sight. Or they'll sit there, and they can sit there for hours and hours, right? I was in my buddy's driveway, and I watched one come up out of the woods. And then it was while my buddy was in his house, and he comes out, and I said, "I just watched that drone just come up right up out of the woods there," right? Because he's told me before, he's like, "Oh, that's a plane. It just looks like it's coming up out of the woods because it's coming from a far distance." And I understand that. And so a lot of times there are planes that come from a distance that look like they're coming straight up because they're coming straight towards you from a distance. But I've seen the drones come straight up out of the woods, right? And I seen this one do this one day. He comes out, and I pointed out to him, and he's skeptical. He's like, "No, dude, no, I don't think that's a star, dude. Look, it's a star, right?" And I'm like, it's a drone. I just watched it do this, you know, but I didn't record it. So he's like, "Well, I got to run somewhere real quick. I'll be right back." He leaves. As soon as he left, shit you not, as soon as he left. Now, I just want to put you in the position here. This particular, it was evening. This particular evening, the wind was really, really high winds that day. So we were having sustained winds at 30, 40 mile an hour, sustained winds. We're up on top of a mountain, okay? Really don't get any higher than where we're at right now. And the wind is blowing. It's blowing so hard that even though it's like 50 degrees out, it's cold, real cold, because the wind is just a constant, like, chilly wind. And there's no way you could, like, fly a drone or do anything like that in this wind, right? It's crazy wind. And he leaves. As soon as he left, right, I look at this drone, right? And I watched this drone come straight towards me, okay? And it was low, right? From my perspective, it was pretty low. And this thing flew right over top of me to the point where I could hear it, okay? And it was, I'm telling you, this thing was, it was the size of a small car, okay? Had to be. And you could hear it. It was low enough that you could hear it. But that thing didn't even blink to the wind. That wind didn't even affect it whatsoever. That thing had no problem flying directly over top of me, right in, you know, in the face of the wind, you know what I mean? It was like a headwind. It had no problem at all. It didn't shimmy, it didn't fucking wobble in the sky. It was completely under control and steady as could be. And it just flew directly over top of me, making sure I could hear it, see it. And that's when I realized how big they are, right? They're big. And you look them up, the military drones that they have are pretty big like this, right? But they were just doing that just to harass me and say, "Hey, look, yes, it's a drone. We're never going to let you record us." You know what I mean? But what is the point of it being in the sky then? What is the point of it? You don't think they can see you? If they want to monitor you, you think that they really can't do it without being seen? You think that they have to have a drone there where you can see it to be able to record you? Come on, wake up. The whole point of it being there is so you do see it. And so you do try to record it because they want to be able to make you look crazy. That's why it's there. Okay? And that's why it does what it does. That's the whole point. You get it? So, is somebody controlling them? And I'm not lying. I'm not making this shit up. Everything I just said happened 100%. But I realized it's that's the reason it's there. They want you to record it. So don't. And they already are set up. Good luck trying to actually capture the damn thing on video that you can prove that it's a drone. Good luck, because I've tried different times, and they do little things that they can, so that I thought about it before I did anything with my footage. I thought, okay, is this footage convincing, or is this another one of these things they're going to just explain away, right? And every time it was nowhere even close to being convincing, so I didn't bother, right? So you got to realize that, okay? That's what the drones are doing.
Pinpoint their location relative to the object that you're viewing and completely rule them out. If you can't do that, then guess what? You're looking at Jupiter or Venus.
Yeah. Yep.
Or whatever else.
Yep, I agree with Abe on that one. And another thing I want to add is...
it's cool though, man. Like, it's a simple mistake to make.
Keep in mind...
When you dealt with the types of things that you've dealt with over long periods of time, I can understand.
Yeah.
You're a good man, dude.
Yep.
You're a good man.
I agree.
I believe that. I'm sorry about the things that I said about you in the past, and jokes and little crack little jokes and stuff. I'm sorry about that, dude, but I do not believe you're drunk. I don't. It's not to say you're not right, but I'm thinking about it from a scientific perspective and applying the inductive method.
Big words again.
And I don't think that's a drone, dude.
I don't either. I think it makes you look crazy.
Plane, absolutely. Plane, absolutely. I get the planes, dude, all day, every day.
I do too.
There ain't no fucking drone following me, dude.
I have one.
Well, you just ain't that targeted, eh? Well, I think you're full of shit.
I have one, absolutely.
If you believe that.
It's not always there, though.
So...
It's not like it's always
sorry,
there.
Man. Like I said, I'm not trying to be an asshole to you. You fucking deal with enough shit, and you're miserable, dude. And I'm sorry. I can't help you with that.
I've never seen Abe act like that.
I don't...
Never seen Abe act like that. So what is it that makes Abe think that I'm fake or something? I don't get that. I don't understand it. I don't understand what makes Abe think I'm fake. Or is he, is he tasked with trying to convince people that I'm fake or something? I don't understand it. Abe, if you could help me out on that, help me understand what makes you think I'm fake, dude. Seriously. Because I don't understand what makes you think I'm fake. If you could actually see, the stuff that I don't show everybody, if you could see it, maybe you'd feel bad too then. But there's certain things I don't put out there because I'm not dumb. I'm not going to give them the ammo that they're looking for. Like the drone, filming the drones and shit. That's what they want you to do. Don't do that, But I'm certainly not fake. And Abe, I have tried to help you, and you only get madder, and it doesn't make any sense to me. So, like I said, after everybody's gone, I'm still going to be here, Abe. So, be good or be good at it. Peace.